I'm calling from Just Answer on the Infinity. Tell me what's going on.
You should have fixed something, and then you have kids, and you put it off, and then literally goes into the shit. That's what happened. So it was a week, and after that, I saw the light stayed on, the fan stays on, and then the mirrors on the side, I can't move. So it looks like they're in safe mode.
And I'm sorry, what side of the vehicle was the water leaking on?
And I read these posts everywhere. Everyone's had this problem before, but I'm going to take it in. But if I could fix it without the scan tool, that would be great. I can do that myself. But if I need the scan tool, I can't.
All right, so this is what I found already. I don't know of a common failure, although it may be common. I personally just haven't come across it. So, but here, let me tell you this. Your fuse block inside the vehicle is on the driver's side. So I'm thinking it's going to be something related to this fuse box. So I'm not saying necessarily the fuse box is bad, although it's possible. What I'm saying is the first thing we need to do is we need to check voltage on all of these fuses that these circuits aren't working on. So in other words, if you start the engine, you let it run, the alternator's charging, the battery voltage under the hood should be about 14 volts. So we want to see about 14 volts on these fuses inside the vehicle. So the very first thing we do is when we get a complex electrical issue is we make sure we don't have a low voltage or a no voltage condition. In other words, a blower motor circuit. It looks like there's fuse 10 and or 11 inside the vehicle. We want to make sure that those fuses have not only are good, but make sure that they have battery voltage on them. So not 6 volts, not 7 volts, not 8 volts, but 14 volts when the engine's running. And do this all across the board with all the fuses inside the vehicle. Now, if we have a low voltage or no voltage, then we got to pull a wiring diagram of each particular circuit back up, and it'll lead us to the root cause. But if we don't have a low voltage condition, then at that point, we can go to each component that's not working and check power going into, let's just say, for example, the fan motor itself, box or the fuse block.
Is there any breakers in there that may have tripped and not reset?
Well, there's relays. Let's take a look here. Yeah. There are relays. And sometimes they have
I left the negative terminal off for a day and a half, and that didn't fix it.
Sometimes they have fusible links. Let me just pull a wiring diagram real quick. They have fusible link. You do this fusible link B. There's a bunch of them under the hood. So, for example, if you run this test, I'm recommending that you do, and you find that there's no voltage on several fuses, well, then that could lead us back to a blown fusible link. So you got a fusible link holder, right rear of engine compartment. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 fusible links in there. And then you have an intelligent power distribution module, or they call it IPDM, with a bunch of relays in there as well. That's under the hood. Yes, sir. Exactly.
So you think it would be a BPM issue or no?
Could be. Well, again, a lot of people, they don't, I get this question a lot. So just what we talked about, we make sure we don't have a low voltage condition. We start there, right? Because we can't determine if a body control module, engine control module, transmission control module, we can't determine if they're bad if we got a low voltage condition, because ultimately we're going to go to that module, we're going to check powers and grounds, and we're going to find that there's low voltage going into that module. So that'll bring us back to where I'm telling you to go now, is check for a low voltage condition. So we got to start there. Now, you're welcome to check these things, and if you find that there's not a low voltage condition or a voltage problem, well, then you can go after the computer system. But I guarantee that's going to be more expensive and harder to diagnose. So let's do the basics first.
All right, I will start there.
All right, my friend. Well, good luck, and let me know what you find.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.